Hello everyone and welcome to my Brotherhood of Steel Fortress final tour. So long awaited. I think it was 2 years ago to this very month, October 2016, that I last had a video about this build on my channel. So it's been a long time. I wasn't able to finish decorating it after I built it for a long time because of different life events that were going on that just made me so that I couldn't do it. But I finally did. I finally had time and I finally buckled down and finished it. It took forever to decorate this thing.
There's a wealth of technology just waiting to be discovered out here.
So, here we go. Now, before I actually start this tour, I just want to say that back when I first built this, there were no such thing as mods for PS4, so the entire build is vanilla.
We're out here
However,
the Brotherhood.
since
Make them proud.
then, mods did become available for PS4, and so I did use 2 mods to decorate this with, and that is USO, the Unlocked Settlement Objects mod, and OC Decorator. And I only did that because it just made it go a lot faster, it was a lot easier, otherwise I'd still be working on it even now if I didn't use those mods. So if you want to build this, if you want to follow along with my build, which I'll leave a link in the description and at the end of this video if you want to go to the playlist of my build. If you want to follow along and build this and you don't use mods, you can build the entire thing without mods. You just can't decorate it the same way that I decorated it without mods. Alright? Okay, so now that that's all out of the way, let's get to it. So, this is the Starlight Drive-In, of course. The only settlement big enough and flat enough to build this monstrous thing. But outside, before I show you the actual fortress itself, I'm going to show you the outside, where there's a settler's village, or rather a trader's village, where some traders came and decided to set up a little trading post, I guess, next to the protection of the Brotherhood of Steel Fortress, because the Brotherhood of Steel patrol through here, and there's a lot of guns guarding it and stuff like that. So they felt safe setting up here, even though they're not inside the wall.
And I'll take on the world.
And I don't know what I was thinking when I sent Dance here. It's absolutely annoying. Anyway, so the first trader we have here is this scrap dealer. She sells just pretty much all the junk that you would find out in the wasteland.
Doesn't it feel good to be a part of something as important as the Brotherhood?
She also lives here in this little shack. So, yeah, she just sells pretty much anything she can get her hands on of random junk. But I liked this little storefront. I thought it was kind of fun with the slanted roof and stuff. It just a little bit more unique than some other, some others that I've built. I always try to make them a little bit different from each other. And since we're near a railroad track, I decided that the settlers here would take advantage of the railroad cars that are lying around and build buildings out of them. So they have. This is an apartment complex. But on the way in here we have this woman who sells produce from the gardens that are back there, and I'll show you those in a minute. So going inside, each section is just a tiny little one-room shack apartment sort of thing. And this guy is the guy who runs it. He's the landlord. And so if you want to rent an apartment, you see him. And so each one is unique because it's a unique person who lives here. I didn't want them to be cookie cutter, even though they're all very small and very limited with what you can do on the inside. A unique person lives here, and so they should be decorated differently. This guy collects components. He collects junk, he scraps it, he extracts all the components out of the junk, and he sorts it, and then he sells it in the market, and I will show you his market stall in just a bit. So each one, again, is unique depending on who is living here. And they have them set up differently. as you can see. Now, upstairs, there is actual upstairs as well, so we can go on up there. More different ones. It would be very easy to just slap a bed and a chair in here and call it good, but I live for the details. That's what I like about building in Fallout 4, is that you can put the tiny details in. And so I do that as much as I can. This one is for rent, so there's nobody living in it at the moment. It comes with the basic furniture, and they have to add their own stuff, of course. And here is the last one. Excuse me. Now there's this door opens out onto the balcony, or the roof rather, of the cafe, or the diner. Cafe, diner, I forgot what I called it. It's a diner. Okay. Rose's Diner. And it's just a nice little outdoor seating area where people can have a drink and some Buzz Bites or something. Some colored lights, make it a little more cheery. I think I'll go down through the cafe. This is Rosa, the cafe owner, and her cat.
I'm pleased we were assigned to the same team. I think we can learn a lot from each other.
Dance is the only companion who talks to you when he's that far away, right? Is it just me thinking that? I don't remember any of the other companions being that annoying at such a distance. Anyways, this is Rose's Diner and the barbecue deck. She's got a barbecue deck out here.
Huh?
And there's a fire pit where they roast the food on it. And if you want to know how to build this, I have a video on how to build this and how to put a fire pit in the deck. So I will leave a link in the description to that video if you would like to go check that out. And the Brotherhood of Steel also come out here and get the food as well. Now they like to keep some flowers and stuff like that to just make it just a little bit nicer, a little bit more cheery. So they use old tires as planters and yeah, stuff like that. So now this is the other building that they used out of rail cars, and this is the market, as you can see. So it's basically like a little mall, I guess you could say, a little indoor marketplace. So we got an armor dealer, we have a general goods dealer, and a clothing dealer. And on this side we have a gun shop. So, just a little indoor market area. And that obviously is the fortress itself, but I'm going to finish showing you the outside before I go in there. So over here we have the guy who lives in the apartments over there, who scraps the parts and he sells them in his little booth here. As you can see, he sells the components. Yeah. And he has all of his other merchandise, his backlog of merchandise or back stock, I should say, in these crates. So, and that is the gist of the marketplace. But we also have some other stuff outside. So we have the Vertibird landing pad here and control tower. Now obviously this Vertibird was added by a mod, the Unlock Settlement Objects mod. Without it you can't have a Vertibird just sitting here. Before I had the mod, I did have this fast travel rug placed in the middle of the landing pad, and if you travel to the settlement with a Vertibird, it will land on the fast travel rug. So you can actually have the Vertibirds land on the pad when they take you to the settlement. Sometimes though it would sink through the floor and land on the ground underneath, because this is hollow. Well, these aren't hollow. There's concrete here, but this white part is hollow underneath, and it would go under it, and then you would be deposited out of the Vertibird under the floor. Not every time. Sometimes it would actually land on it, but it wasn't very reliable, so I decided not to use it that way after all.
We should make good time when the weather.
And this is the control tower where they talk to the Vertibird pilots and direct them and stuff like that. Alright, and now... Oh, and here's a bunch of the fuel. This is where they store the fuel for the vertebrates. And now we're going to go on to the garden area. And this is where they supply the food for the merchants and the people who live in the village. And this is the the gardener's house. I'll show you that first, since it is first. So he just has his little kitchen. A little, yep, just a little shack house, like any other one in the Commonwealth. And they also sell, not sell, but they also raise Brahmin chickens and rabbits. So, we got the Brahmin feeding trough over here. Excuse me. And since the garden area was built on a hill, the vegetables look stupid when you plant them on a hill. It looks like they're floating. So I decided to make steps, garden tiers, I guess you can say, so that the vegetables wouldn't look like they're floating. And I think it turned out really nice. I really like how it turned out. And the settlers actually do go up and down because I have...
Crop's been growing pretty good lately.
I have stairs for them to get up and down each level, and they actually do go up and down them. So, yeah, it turned out really nice. I like how it looks. I think it's a very nice looking garden. Really thought out, put together, you know what I mean? Now, of course, I used some items from the Nuka World DLC, these hitching posts, which I decided to use as a fence, and these barrels and hay bales are also from the Nuka World DLC. So if you don't have that DLC, then obviously you can't build those things. Alright, so that is all of the outside. Oh, look, there's some Minutemen up there on the roof. I hate it when the Minutemen walk through here. They walk right through the main base. And then they get stuck because they can't go all the way through. There's another door on the other side. So anyway, this is the entrance. The imposing entrance to the base. And of course we have plenty of guards out here. Some power armored Brotherhood soldiers and some heavy armored soldiers, some laser turrets. And inside...
We liberated the Commonwealth, but our job is far from over.
My settlers
General.
Hi. My settlers never fall down there. Only the Minutemen, when they walk through, get stuck down there. It's so annoying. So we have another guard inside the door and another turret. And when...
The Institute's fall be a lesson to anyone who risk tampering with our humanity.
If enemies attack, they can close this door and help keep them from getting in. And the guy out there can just riddle them with bullets and they can't get in. So this is the courtyard for the base, and the interior of the base is inside the wall. So I guess you could say it's inside the wall. It's a very, very thick wall, and they live inside the wall. This is the watershed. As you can see, this is where they have their well, which is what I utilized. I did to utilize the puddle that's in the middle of the settlement at the, the theater has the puddle in the middle, so I decided to use that as their well and put a well house over it, and I think it turned out pretty nice. And over here we have a shooting range. We can stand here and shoot the bottles.
I live long enough to witness the Brotherhood's next.
And they can also practice their hand-to-hand combat with this knife-fighting robot mannequin thing, which is also from the Nuka World DLC, by the way. if you want that. Okay, so now there's 2 levels to the interior, and then there's the upper level. And I'm going to show you the upper level first. While it's still light out, I have a feeling it's going to get dark soon. So I'm going to show you the interior last. So there's a commanding view of the surrounding areas out here. And this is their radio tower. And... uh-oh, we got some bad weather coming. And this is the control room for the radio. They can switch the radio on and off and stuff from down here. Hold on a second. Okay, there, that's better. The last thing we need is rain to spoil the fun. And I also turned down the voices of the NPCs because that was getting annoying. Alright, so up on each corner we have a mortar gun. And I really liked how these turned out, these corners. I don't know. I just like these pits that I made. That was fun trying to figure that out. And you can see in my build video playlist how I built these. So I got a guard on each corner plus the gun. And I don't have anybody assigned to the guns because I just don't have enough settlers to assign that many people. Look at this Minutemen lady just standing out here. So each corner is the same. Each corner has a guard and a gun. Except one corner doesn't have a gun. And that is that corner over there. It doesn't have a gun. It has a guard post. And this is a place where the guards check in. They can take a break here as well. They take turns taking breaks. Maybe one might need to take a nap. But they take turns. They don't all take breaks at the same time, of course. There's a few extra guns here if they need them. And up top we have some more guard posts and turrets. And these turrets actually can and do shoot enemies from up here. And with all of these turrets and all the guards up here, enemies don't get very far. They are killed before they even reach the pavement. I've had quite a few settlement attacks here, and yeah, enemies spawn right out along there, and some spawn down there, and they do not make it very far before they are shot down. It's kind of cool. These Brotherhood of Steel soldiers, by the way, if you're wondering, the ones that actually have Brotherhood of Steel voices, they are added by the USO mod. They are Brotherhood of Steel guards that actually, all they do is guard. They don't do anything else. They're not counted as settlers. You can't command them to do anything. And they are actually Brotherhood of Steel. That's why they have the Brotherhood of Steel voice. Now, I could have assigned my settlers to be guards and to, dress them as Brotherhood of Steel. And that's what I was doing at first. But it was just really time consuming to get all the settlers, to get that many settlers here. So I just used the shortcut for the video, for the purpose of the video. If this was a settlement that I just built for my own private use, I probably wouldn't use them. They do use up settlement supplies like food and water and beds, so you have to actually but they don't do anything else. They guard, and they do provide security rating to your settlement, but they don't walk around. They just stay at their posts the whole time. So, and they won't walk from one post to the other. They will stay exactly where you set them. Anyways, let's go inside. I will show you the bottom level first and then the top level. Now, all of these, every single room connects. You can go from one side to the other, up and down. And I'll show you. I actually drew out a plan for this on paper before I built it. I had to. just to keep any kind of rhyme or reason to it. So there are three entrances, sorry. This one straight across, and that one there, and each entrance has an entrance way like this, where you can get from the bottom to the top level and across. So you can go either way when you go inside any door. So here we have the command center and the clinic. And this is the administrative offices. I don't actually have any settlers assigned here. These are the guard posts from the Vault-Tec DLC. But I don't have enough settlers to assign them. And this is the clinic and surgery room, and out here we have storage for the clinic. So we have a few recovery beds and a couple surgery tables. And these, of course, were added by the USO mod. Originally, before the mod, I had like Vault-Tec tables here. I think the metal tables from the Vault-Tec DLC were here. Those, I think, look pretty good for surgery tables. But since I had the mod, I decided just to use them because they do look better. But and this is the command center, and this is where the officers get together and they have their staff meetings, and you know, they keep their records and do some communications and whatever. This is just where they have their operations. Everything that goes on, and here, you know, the commands. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I'm so sorry. I'm stumbling over my words. It is like 1 o'clock in the morning as I'm recording this. Sorry, you guys. Anyways, so underneath each, I guess you can say it's a balcony. It's not really a balcony, but for the upper level to go across, they have storage. And for each stair, under each stair, there's signs to tell you what is up above in this section. So there's 3 sections. Each door opens up into a different section. So this wall here is one section, and then that wall there is another section, and that wall there is another section. And so each section is labeled, so you know what's up there when you come in. Because before I labeled them, I would walk in one door and be like, okay, where am I? Because everything looks the same. This is the supply depot. And this guy, he supplies the armor and weapons. You can see he has all the Brotherhood of Steel uniforms and helmets and armor and guns over here. So if you need a gun or armor, you go to this guy. And if you need any other things, you go to this guy over here. And I'm pretty sure these guys are twins. This guy sells personal items like toiletries and luxury items that you would use only in your off hours, right? This is the generator room, in which we have 2 fusion generators. And we use both. It actually requires more than 100 power to power this place. Well, mostly because I have a lot of laser turrets and they require a lot of power. Alright, and this door goes into the other section. And then, of course, there's storage underneath the stairs. And up above we have ammo magazine, the armory, and the lavatories. And I will show you that later. So we're directly across. We originally went in that door, and now we're directly across from the entrance where we came in. And this is the gym, and this is where people go to work out, obviously. And Elder Maxon's here today. So people, you know, can do weights and push-ups and stuff. Obviously nobody's actually exercising today. They seem to be all resting. But they ride the bikes, they do the weights, and they do push-ups on the floor. Unfortunately, nobody's doing it right now. And here is the where the other door comes out. But back here we have the showers and one of the bathrooms. This is the bathroom for downstairs. And then there are more upstairs as well. So these are the showers. These are the showers that the enlisted men do. And it seems to be getting dark. And I forgot to install lights back here. This is such a huge settlement that well, looks like I installed a light way up there in the corner. That's odd. But this is such a huge settlement that I forget what I've done and where, you know? And so I just forgot to install lights back here. Probably because I work with my Pip-Boy light on, and so it never looked dark to me, so I forgot. Anyway, if you followed along my build videos when I was building this, you'll probably remember, or you might remember, that I originally had tubs in these stalls because I didn't have a mod that gave me these showers. So I added the showers and I added the curtains. But of course, if you build this with the just vanilla game, you will of course have to use the tubs, which is fine. I wanted them to be showers, not tubs. Just my personal preference. And this is the locker room for the ladies. Okay. And then the men have theirs upstairs. Excuse me, I am having some problems with my throat today, apparently. So the men's showers are the same as the women's. They're just reversed. So we got the showers here, and then back here we have the locker room. Yeah. A hamper to put the dirty clothes in, dirty uniforms. Dirty towels. Dirty towels, I guess, not their dirty uniforms. And that is the showers, ladies and gentlemen. Whoa. Everyone's coming in to do their workouts right at the same time. It's actually getting dark, so I am going to go fix that real quick. There. That's better. Not so many people. They tend to come into the gym at nighttime for some reason. I have no idea why. Look at Elder Maxon go with those push-ups. In his coat. That's funny. Okay, so coming off from the gym, we have the last entrance inside. So you can see we are directly across from the first entrance we went into. I don't know why there's a settler right here. I think she works in the garden. I don't know why she's right here. And up these stairs we have the barracks, and I will take you up there in just a moment. Here we have the rec room, and this is where they spend their off hours. Just sitting. They can watch TV, listen to the radio, play games. Some places to sit, read books, and comics. Of course, they don't actually hang out in here. Everybody likes the gym a lot. That's like their favorite room. So if anybody's off duty, you can probably find them in the gym. And this is the mess hall. And it is between meals right now. What does that sound? I don't know. Serve yourself buffet. Different kinds of foods. And some coffee over here. And this is the kitchen. Get some drinks. Prepare food. Stove, sinks. Places to store pots and pans. And upstairs we have the pantry. Because you need a huge pantry for all of these people. To store all of the food for all these people. We got crates and boxes and crates and boxes filled to the brim with foods of all sorts and lots of barrels of food. Because you need a lot of food for this many people. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the kitchens.
I hope I live long
And now we got some fog going on here. There, that's better. Don't need bad weather during the tour, right, Maxon? Am I right? Yes, I am. Okay. Alright, now I'm going to show you the upstairs. So I'm going to go back in where we started from down below. So the ammo magazine, the armory, and the power armor bay is up here. But first we get to the power armor bay. That's the first thing we come to. So this is where they store the power armor. And this is where they work on it and stuff too. Not just store it, but they also work on it. So there's lots of tools and supplies and stuff like that. And of course, a lot of times the settlers just stand around and do nothing. Because it's such a big settlement, the game has a hard time processing all the information. It has a hard time processing the settler AI, so it's really hard for them to go about their business. This is the armory. Oh, and now, so each entryway, of course, like I said before, has this sort of little balcony, or I don't know what it would be called, a balcony? I can't think of another word for it at the moment. Anyway, this is the armory. So these are the shelves where they have the incoming and outgoing things that they're working on. This is where they build and repair weapons. There's nobody in here at the moment, looks like. But we also have an ammo magazine, which is where they store all of their ammo and missiles and bombs. Got lots of stuff. And yeah, so this is the armory where they build and repair weapons and armor. And going across, you can see we are in the middle now, directly across from the main entrance. And from here over is the living quarters. So we have the other bathrooms. So this is the women's bathroom and men's bathroom. Oh, excuse me. You're in the wrong place, lady. And this is the barracks. Hello. So first we have the enlisted men's barracks, and that's this. So they all sleep in the same room. And they are allowed some personal effects to sort of liven up their own little sleeping areas. Very minimal, though. Obviously, they don't have pack rats here, but yeah. And then down this way, we have the officers' quarters. Now we are directly across from where we went in. So you can see we just went all the way around. So, officers' quarters, and the officers each get their own rooms. So, still pretty minimalistic, but... And they don't have a lot of personal effects, because they're soldiers, and they don't need that kind of stuff, right? But they have a few, mostly books, and stuff like that. Things for them to do during their off hours. And each one is a little different, of course, because, again, individuals live here. And so each one should be different for their own personalities. And then around here we have the officer's bathroom, which also has a tub and shower. So they don't have to use the one downstairs like the enlisted men do. So, yeah. And these are Elder Max's quarters. He lives here now instead of on the Pridwin. And so these are his quarters. He has his own desk in here, his own computer, and he has a few more items and just places to be. places to have private conversations with his officers if he needs to. Yeah. And so that, folks, is the entire inside of the Brotherhood of Steel Fortress. And of course, there are labels or signs for each to tell you what's above. When you come in, if you go, straight in, you can see barracks that way, rec room that way, and yeah, so it's just easier to get around. So you could come straight into this door. You can see ammo magazine, armory and lavatory, supply depot, gym, and ghosts. Yee. Anyways, you guys, that is it. I think I showed you everything. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. And I'm very thrilled with this. I like how it turned out. Would I ever build another thing this big? Absolutely not. This is absolutely insane. It was insane to decorate, for one thing, but it was also very difficult to build. And never again will I ever build something out of concrete. I hate these concrete pieces. They have bad NPC pathing, let me tell you. NPCs don't come through the doors very easily. They like to walk next to the door, and so they're always getting stuck next to the door everywhere. It's so annoying. So yeah, those are very problematic to build with. I don't like them, but it needed to be used for this build. And I also would never build anything this big again, simply because it does murder on my frame rate. And it does murder on my NPC AI. Because, like I said, when the game has to process this much information, it does mess with the NPC AI. And they tend to not want to perform their duties. They are doing it right now because I just woke up from sleeping. And if you need to reset your NPCs, sleeping is the best way to do it. And they should, if you sleep past 8 a.m. in the morning, 8 a.m., they should be all in their positions when you wake up. But if you stay a long time in the day, throughout the day, and then comes evening, they all leave their shops and their places, right? They will not be able to find their way back to them unless you sleep again. So that's frustrating. But that's what happens when you build mega settlements like this. I probably won't ever build anything this big again, just for that reason alone, and for the frame rate hit, because you might not be able to tell in the video, but I am getting probably 20 frames a second right now. I can't tell for sure, but this feels like 20 frames per second to me. Anyways, you guys, I'll stop rambling now. I just wanted to sort of answer any questions you might have about it. And if you have any more questions that I didn't answer in this video, please ask them down below. I will be happy to answer them for you if I can. So, that is it, you guys. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up because it really helps out my channel. And if you would like to support my channel, you can do so by clicking on the link to my Patreon and Coffee pages down below. And I want to give a big shout out and thank you to all of my patrons. You guys are awesome, and you are what makes it possible for me to make videos like this. And hopefully I can make more in the coming days. I'm going to start working on my Nordhagen Village build, get that finished, get it finished decorated. I finished building it a long time ago, but now I just need to finish decorating it. Now that this is out of the way, I can do it. So anyways, you guys, that's it. I will see you in the next video. And until then, remember to play safe, play nice, and have fun. Bye, guys.